Okay, so this time on beard builds, normally I open the door, move the ute out of the way, maybe even the old gold Commodore, get that out of the way too, and yeah, clear the space, make sure it's all ready to go. Only one problem, the ute no longer moves. So, first day cruise night, one of my mates went out, went for a cruise, didn't last long, and then I got a ride home on a purple truck with my purple ute from my mate Jamie. Two guys towing, if anyone needs a towing cans, hit that guy up, he's pretty damn good. Okay, so, worked out what it is, and now it's time to crack in and fix it. Okay, so had to put together my new press that I got super cheap. Not at super cheap, but I got it super cheap. Trade Tools here in Cairns, they're a Queensland-based company. Got me a 20-ton press for unbelievable amount of money, like it was so super cheap. Yeah, managed to press out the axle that come in the Calais hub that I kept. Now, I had no idea really why I kept the Calais hub, the right-hand side one, but it's kind of very much come in handy. Now, I've got to clean that up, clean all the splines up and that, because they were hella rusty from factory fit. They just push them in, no grease, no nothing like that. And there's a small nick on the thread section here, so I'm going to clean that up as well. And then we can start pulling apart the ute and getting our busted one of these out. So yeah, that ought to be fun. Woo! Okay, so finally back to the ute. Had to go and run around, do some stuff, pick up something awesome, and it turned out super amazing. But now, back into the shade. Now that we've got our axle out, so there's the bad boy there, in amongst all my mess. We're going to jack the ute up and try and get all this right hand side off and have a look at how bad this broken axle is in here. So yeah, let's jack her up and stand her up and away we go. I love how ridiculously low this thing is. Okay, before you whinge about the lighting, it's probably going to be shit. I'm laying underneath my ute, as you can tell. So, let's look at the passenger side. As you can see, maybe, hopefully it's focused. One axle, yeah, even goes into the diff. Woo! All right, let's have a look at the driver's side. So, see that mess there? That's where the axle used to be. See this here? This is where the axle is now. Yep. Fun times ahead. Oh, who's trying to call me now? Okay, so, I don't know if you can see or not, but before you remove the hub nut, there's actually like a small section of the nut that's actually got a dent section that goes into the keyway, so it helps lock that nut on. I'll see if I've got the other axle nut. Okay, so that's it there. It's got a small section that you hammer over into the keyway section, and it's good as gold to help try and lock that nut there. So I'll pop this wheel off and see if we can get that hub nut off too. Okay, so right now what I'm hoping is that I can, ready? Push that bit out. Come here. Okay, so, I don't know if you can see it in there or not. One clean snapped axle. Cool. Now we've just got to get the other half out. Then what we'll have to do is we'll have to take undo the top bolt from the hub, lay the hub back while we slide that new shaft in, get it into position in the diff, and then poke it through the spline section of the hub. Sounds easy, right? Oh well, let's keep going. Okay, so yeah, apologies for my appearance and my face. Probably look horrid right now. Absolutely covered in crap. But the important thing is, busted ass axle is out. So, there's the end of it that's sheared off. There's the other half of it there. So, if we put it back together, there you go. One axle that just went whoosh, snap, crackle, and pop. Right, so got the other axle under the ute now, so I'm going to try and crawl under there, poke it in the diff end. See if I've got enough squish in it to poke it in the hub, or I'll have, like I said, I'll probably have to drop the control arm off and then the top bolt out of the hub and slide it in. Now, it's always important when you're doing axles or any sort of drive shaft components that when you poke the splines through, you want to put like a graphite grease or creeping grease, as they say, on these, so that you can do what I did this time around and pop that out with your finger through the hub instead of having to use your 20-ton press. I love lazy people. All right, cool, let's crack into it. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken all the bolts out of the hub and laid it over so I've got enough room to slide this shaft in, and yeah, we'll see how we go from there. So now I've probably just got to try and feed it in up through the top there into the diff, and yeah, should be good to go. Okay, exciting time. So, finally, my new axle's turned up. We'll cut this bad boy open and see what it looks like. So, I was a little bit annoyed because, I don't know if I showed you or not, I did actually happen to have another axle here, but thread on the end of it is absolutely gacked. So it was, I think it was about roughly 1.5 times a new axle just to get a die for it to fix the thread. So when you get a whole brand new axle, I just figured, you know what, let's just do that instead of dicking around with something like that. Oof. Comes with nice cups on it. Oh yes, and they put the nut all the way out the end so they protected the thread. Super impressed. Not gonna lie to you. Oh yeah, it's got the lock washer on it, everything. Perfect. Cool. Alright, now we can get to fitting this bad boy. Okay, so we got the axle slid into the diff. No, I'm not a doctor. However, what I'm about to do, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier if I put these on, because nobody wants to become the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. So, nickel anti-seize. This has been covered for ages, so give it a decent shake. Alright. Or, more commonly known for those players out there, as creeping grease. So, this stuff, doesn't matter where you put it, takes one drop, will coat an entire human body without even realising it. So, coat the new axle shaft with it. So that, as you've seen earlier in the video, once you happen to snap an axle or happen whoopsie, you can basically just pull it clean out. Or push it clean out with your finger, whichever one happens to happen first. Alright, as you can tell, safety boots are on, thongs. Yeah, so now we'll get the shaft in, and I've already done it. I've already done it. See, that's how easy it is. Cream grease on the finger. Now, it's behind my ear. Unbelievable. It's magical, this stuff. You put it on, you're like, oh, hang on a second, I'm itchy. And you go from there. Okay, so, old nut, or for stock axle, this is the replacement axle nut. So this one has got a lock tab that goes into that groove. Now, new one doesn't. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. This side of it, oh, when I can spin it around, it's round. That side there is more oval. So what they're using is the oval section of the thread, once it winds onto the shaft, to actually lock that up instead of having the locking tab that goes into the groove. So we'll put that bad boy on now, and we'll go from there. Always make sure you give the right amount of ugga-duggas. Yes, people, relax. Just buzz them on with that. Doesn't do it up super tight. I'll break it apart when it hits the ground. Chill. Cool. Rightio. Get out into some light. Now the exciting bit. So, full cream interior, whilst wearing this and looking like this. Not happening. So, I'm going to happen to clean the back of it off because I've handy when you own a ute. It becomes quite a good storage area. Yeah. And then go and take it for a test rip and see how it goes. Okay, so by the power of the interwebs, I'm now showered and changed, semi-clean. Had to get super clean because voila, cream interior. Alright, fingers crossed we're going to test drive this pig and everything should be A-okay. Leave home without your wallet, kids. Well, promising thing is it's already moved, so the brakes a bit of a pump up since I had them pads all the way wound out. Now, can appreciate you're probably not going to see much, noting how dark it is, but you know, let's be good sports and turn the light on. Until we get pulled over for driving around with the interior light on. Thing so far is no weird noises, no knocks, bangs, lumps, bumps. So we'll a bit of a squeeze. Whilst observing the speed limit, obviously. Well, I'm more than happy with that. So, look, that's always a win. Yeah, big load off my mind. Okay, look, yes, dicked around for over a week with an axle. But as you can see, it's all back together. All's well that ends well, I guess, right? So yeah, now I'll take it for a bit of a lap off camera, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, catch you next time. Stealth mode engaged.